students. Matter of fact, tonight, Larry, at 5 o'clock out at the field house is our CNA, LPN, and our RN nurses penning ceremony. Over 100 students will be walking across the stage and getting their pens and celebration tonight.
So you're here for the day.
I'm here for the whole day. Yeah, absolutely. So yes, happy Nurses Week for all of our graduating nurses.
Yeah, my wife was a graduating nurse from MCC.
There you go.
Yeah. She'd already had a chiropractic degree, but she decided she wanted to go back and be an RN.
Well, it's Hug a Nurse Week, so there you go.
Oh, I take care of that. Yesterday was or 2 days ago was our 20th anniversary. So yeah,
congratulations.
Took care of that. Yeah. I think I hugged her at least once that day. Pretty sure. So what else is happening at the college level for you? I mean, your plate's pretty full. How do you manage to leave your office for a full day?
I don't know how that worked. I really don't. But we just have so many activities this time of year. Last week was all of our student recognition ceremonies. We had a lot of pinnings. Last night was down here in Bullhead was our MEA and phlebotomy pinning ceremony.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning we have our dental hygiene, dental assisting. Tomorrow's commencement. So I did want to share that commencement ceremony tomorrow will be pretty incredible. We have over 1,000 certificates and degrees being awarded to over 779 students.
Oh, my gosh.
And 60 of students will be getting their certificate or degree before graduating from high school.
Isn't that amazing?
It is great to see those numbers.
And I think that's going to do nothing but increase. I understand that at Mohave High they're having a hard time with teachers that want to teach dual enrollment. But Mohave Community College, take three, Mohave Accelerated Learning Center does a great job with that.
Yeah, we have actually great affiliations with a lot of high schools all throughout the county. It just depends on their academic a level, right? They have to have in certain programs or certain classes. You have to have that master's degree level or whatever, at least some master's level courses related to that content field. And sometimes that ebbs and flows by high school. You lose a science teacher who's been doing dual enrollment for 10 years. They're gone. We don't have anybody with those credentials. So, but I will say, luckily, Mohave High and others have been actually sometimes will bus their students to our campus for one of our classes. It's called concurrent enrollment.
Okay.
And then they bus back. So that's helping, and we're actually getting some good enrollments from that here just locally in the Bullhead area.
Good. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, you've been here 5 years?
5 years.
5 years. And look at the changes that you have made in MCC.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, I do. As a resident for 43 years, I remember when it was Trailer Tech out here in Fort Mohave, in Bullhead City. You know, that's what they called it because it was all trailers then. And now there's not a trailer there. Mm-hmm. It's all huge buildings and full parking lots. And the other thing is you're starting to hire a lot of your graduates. You have a lot of faculty that graduated from MCC.
We have faculty and staff. A lot of our staff, we have probably right now 10 or 12 of our staff members are also students. With us, completing a degree, and then already have plans on. Some of them are already completed either fall semester or completing now, with already set up to complete a degree online through NAU or do something through ASU or U of A. And they love their education and they're continuing on, but we were able to employ them. And, it's been great, actually, because they love the college and they want to stay.
Right. And when you talk about going on to NAU or ASU, you're starting to explore some four-year degrees.
Yes, we are. Right now, with our academic master plan, we are looking at the future of a BSN, so getting that RN, that bachelor's level RN. We are looking at some stuff in behavioral health, so like from getting a bachelor's degree in psychology, but it would be really specific to local county needs with mental health, behavioral health, style of programs that you need a bachelor's degree to be able to be in those fields.
Right.
So we're trying to fill those voids where we start to identify. And so there'll be a few more that we'll be looking at. But right now we're looking at bringing those two forward.
That's fabulous.
Right.
And in the world of nursing, I mean, they want the bachelor degree, especially if you want to promote in nursing and you want to go from the nursing floor into management or something. It's the way of the world. They want degrees and degrees and degrees. So
the nice thing with and your wife can attest to this, is that when they get their degree through us with an ASN, they're an RN. They take the NCLEX just like a student who goes to the bachelor's degree, And so a lot of hospitals actually find a strong benefit from that individual because they're still an RN, passed the national exam and all that. Some hospitals really do look at that bachelor's level because of maybe some added training, added leadership concepts attached to that. And so if we can fill that void and that need, we definitely are looking at that.
Any idea how many out-of-state students you have enrolled right now at MCC?
We would be, I think we're about 88% roughly are in-state, mostly Mohave County, right? But some contiguous counties. And about 12% would be out of state, and most of those would be within the tri-state, four-state area, right? Some in Utah coming down up with our Colorado City campus.
Correct. Yeah.
So I would say, we probably have maybe 1-2% are really from outside of this whole area. So we really do serve the service region, this area.
But I can see if you were in another state and you went to your local college to take a nursing class, and they said, "Oh, we're full, and we're full next year," and you'd start looking around, and you could end up in Mohave County going to MCC.
Yep. Well, with our nursing program in dental hygiene, dental assisting, we do get Southern California because it might be difficult to get in there. We might have an opening. They might apply. We'll see, if they hit the scores that they need to get into the program. But we do see some of those who see Mohave. And the nice thing with that is they come here, they love it, and a lot of them will get a job here locally because they're doing their clinical.
See, and that's what I'm thinking is they come here thinking, I'm going to get my degree here and be a dental hygienist, and then all of a sudden they find out that, gee, Jennings and Larson's is a pretty nice place, or Dr. White is a pretty nice place, and this isn't a bad place to live, I might just stay here. Mm-hmm. So, and your dental hygiene, your dental class is only here in Bullhead, right?
Correct, yep.
So are you looking to expand into Kingman or Havasu?
If we feel like the numbers are really there, because of the style of space that's required for the clinical, the cleaning
almost
teeth,
a whole building, huh?
It's not an inexpensive program. Let's put it that way. And what we want to do here is actually with our facilities master plan is expand the dental hygiene, dental assisting program. So we could take on some more students, but we need the clinical space expanded. Right. So we are looking at that here.
Okay. All right. We're 20 past. Let us take a break. We're going to come back and chat some more. If you have questions you want to call in, you can do so. 234. That's our area code. When you have your own tower, you have your own area code. 343-1065. So give us a call and feel free to jump in the conversation. None of us are shy here. We'll be more happy to talk to you. So pick up your phone. Give us a shout. Somebody wanted to know where the majority of your soccer players have come from.
So we have a great, mix. So we have 15 players from Mohave County so far. We have some kids from...
That's over half.
A little under. But then we have because I'm talking about both programs. So
programs, okay. Because I'm thinking, wait a minute, half of 24.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure 15 is more than half.
And then we have
have new math at MCC, so
yeah, it's a new program. So we have some from the Vegas area, Vegas Henderson.
Okay.
We have quite a few from the St. George area. Then Yuma, Tucson. There's one from Texas, one from New Mexico. And we have some international kids also coming in.
Some international kids. So have you had to fly to go interview them?
No. So one of them is a transfer. So we saw him here in the U.S. and the other two, we have some connections with some agencies that bring college players. So not professional agencies, but it's the college game is expanding a lot. And international kids are now wanting to come. So there's this space of college agencies that try to bring kids in. So we have good connections and people that you work with and trust, and that's how we got some of those.
And you need that relationship, so you don't have to fly to Brazil or someplace.
I wish I didn't have the connection, so I can just sorry, Dr. Klippenstein, we gotta go.
Yeah, he's shaking his head no over here, thinking to himself that budget just went out the ceiling. Yeah, what would it cost to fly to Brazil and get a hotel for a few days?
Not that bad, I don't think.
You don't think?
We can try it. No, we won't. We won't be doing that. But he's right, though, with the agencies and those.
He's writing it down.
He's writing
next year. I'm going to Brazil.
Next year. Well, the nice thing about the numbers too is what he was talking about, the 15. When we were setting all of this up 3 years ago, and getting some information to our board for approving us to be NJCAA athletics, at the time there was only 4 or 5. High school kids going on to play collegiate soccer out of Mohave County, and now we have 15 just staying local to play. And I think that's what our goal was, is to continue to expand that as we go. The level of soccer play that you will see, anybody will see when they come to all our matches, and we want everybody to show up. We want the fans, right? We want those stands full. And I think it would be great to have them see these Mohave kids playing.
I agree. Caller, did you have a question?
Yeah, hey, Larry, it's Paul Lavoie. How are you?
We're great.
Good. Hey, Camilo, I got a question for you.
Of course.
Now,
that's Coach Camilo. It's Coach to you.
Our sports station, they talk a lot about the transfer portal in college sports. Is that something that you have to deal with as well? Can you get players from the transfer portal?
We can.
Listen off the air.
Yeah, so we can. Unfortunately, only NCAA coaches have the access to a portal. So what we do is...
So you're not qualified? Is that what you're saying?
We are qualified.
Oh, okay.
We were both part of the NCAA for many, many years. That's why we're here, because we're trying to create this big program. So what we do is there's some of those coaches that maybe release players and they go into the portal and they call us and say, hey, this is a player that maybe is an in-state player that was at, I don't know, Grand Canyon or something like that.
Okay.
And this is a player that maybe you should look at. So we would get those players like that. In my case, I have one transfer that's coming from that has been in a 4-year school. So I don't have the access, or we don't have the access to a portal per se, because that's only for NCAA coaches. But we do have access to some of those players. So the answer is yes. There's a way.
Well, most of the players live on campus.
Yeah, that's one thing with our housing program is working with our student athletes, the requirement of them to be living on, to be together, that is there. Of course, there's a way for exemptions if need be.
Like if they live locally with
if they
live
close by, the coaches signing off or whatever else it may be. But, yeah, our goal is to have them all there, be there, because the travel schedule in the fall,
right.
I mean, it's pretty intense. They're coming back from a place at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, and they got to be ready to go to class
the next day
at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. So we want to make sure we're ready.
Are you ordering buses?
Yeah, we have. We're actually been working on a transportation contract, and that's what Camilo has been doing on the backside, so we can get everything ready to go for.
Okay.
Your biggest expenses for any athletic program is your coaching salaries and all that. But usually transportation's your next highest.
Okay.
And so transportation, meal cost, all of that type of stuff.
So you're working on contracts with somebody to haul your team all around the state.
Yes, and out of state. I mean, the conference has changed quite a bit. Of course, our first year coming into the conference, there's a lot of changes. So there's Colorado Southern Nevada is coming into the conference, so we'll be going into Vegas. And then there's a school called Community Christian College out of Redlands, California, that is coming into the conference. So there'll be some trips. And then when you play the out of conference, like the men's team is going to Wyoming. The women's team is going into California also for some of the non-conference play. So we got to find some games outside the conference just to make it worthwhile for these kids to come out here and find a competitive schedule.
Okay. And these students that you get, your players, they're going to be just a little bit above a high school player. I mean, you can't call up the high school and say, hey, let's do a practice match tomorrow.
No, we wouldn't.
Put the microphone right in front of your mouth.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Now we can, yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
No, it wouldn't be, most of the time we're going to be playing, if we're scrimmaging 4-year schools.
Okay.
For example, we're gonna head down to a tournament beginning of the season, and we're playing Ottawa University, Park University. I'll have a team there. I think Benedictine as well. So there are times that we will end up playing some games against 4-year schools, but once we begin our conference play, it's going to be against teams similar to us that are going to be junior college programs.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break. Half past. All right. We're back with our coaches and our president of the college. And off air, the conversation was you were talking about somebody who's done all this winning, and you're president turns to you and says, well, they haven't played us yet.
Well, I guess the exciting thing is the conference we're going into is arguably the toughest conference for junior colleges in the country.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have some.
Did you guys pick this, or did you just get thrown into it? How'd that work?
We're in Arizona. So
Yeah.
we got picked like that.
Yeah.
And it's the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference. So,
Oh, okay. But it's a tough one, huh?
It's a natural fit. Well, yeah, but at the same point, you want to play the best teams.
Yeah, you do.
And they're gonna pose some good challenges for us, and certainly for Camilo and I, Coach Camilo and I, it gives us some standards to kind of work with and some challenges, and we're kind of up for the challenge. We're looking forward to it.
Now, football coaches often watch tapes of the other team. Will you two be doing that?
You talking about like real football or the other football?
Oh, there you go. Challenge.
Okay. Well, so I was just comparing it to another sport where they watch tapes of the other team.
So the American football version.
So, anyways, my question was: will soccer coaches be watching tapes?
Here's so you know how competitive this conference is. If you don't watch the game live, most schools will lock the game.
Yes.
They will do what to the game?
They'll lock the game so you won't be able to watch it after.
Yeah, they don't. They don't want
really?
you to watch it. They don't want you to watch their videos, so they're trying to protect it. So
in other words, James Jarman's going to be going to all your games with a camera.
I think that was part of his job requirement.
Oh, probably. It is now. Huh?
It is now.
It just got changed. I see Stacy's over there taking notes. James,
I think the phone's ringing. Is that James?
Yeah. He's at a graduation for one of his kids today. So at 10:30. So he's not even listening to us right now, but he will be tuning in. I think Paul Lavoie's going to send him the tape. Speaking of Paul, he played soccer.
Yeah.
Dead silence in my studio.
They are. That's a soccer family.
Yeah, that's a soccer family. I'm excited for to get actually one of the kids that we're getting was coached in high school by his brother Brian.
Okay.
So I keep telling Paul, you got to tell Brian he needs to come. He needs to support this kid.
Right.
And that's a fan that we're going to gain, because I think when he comes to our environment and how our games are going to be, he's going to love it, and they're going to keep coming.
And don't you feel, Stacy, that when a student comes from Vegas to play on this team, that next year Brian has the opportunity to say, hey, one of our students went to MCC. They're playing professionally right now. I mean, the way the word is going to travel in the next year or so is going to be astronomical.
Yeah, it opens up a recruitment funnel, definitely. Those coaches start to realize that Coach Rob or Coach Camilo are great individuals. They have a great program. They started it off the right way.
Right.
All of a sudden, you got that junior who's now going to be a senior is going, boy, I want to look at this. And the coach is saying, you need to look at this.
Right.
And so I think, just from my perspective, it does open up the funnel.
And it's bragging rights for Brian to say, hey, I just one of my players is now playing for MCC. I mean, that's a bragging right. So I can see where this is just going to snowball. And I can see where your board and you are going to be sitting down going, okay, we need some more buildings, we need some more classrooms, we need some more teachers.
We'll see. We'll see down the road. We appreciate that, Larry.
Well, I'm just...
yes, no, I think it can definitely. Just athletics itself and what it can generate for a college, the local athletes, the regional athletes, whatever, coming in, getting that degree, playing a sport they're still passionate about, which I love. But they're getting that degree, that certificate. They're either going to stay here or they're going to go on to a 4-year and compete very well there. Whatever we can do to funnel that, and if that means down the road and we have the support from the Booster Club and support from others that can say, yeah, we have great athletes in these other sport areas, could we look at that? And absolutely. Our whole goal is to get this up and running and really analyze it after a couple of years, see where we're really at, and after we hoist a national championship trophy, that's when I'll be excited. Right?
There's no
Everybody will
pressure.
be excited.
You're not putting any pressure on these guys,
no
are
pressure
you?
on these guys. Camilo's heard it now for 2 years.
Hey,
and
it would only be my second national championship ring, so I'm okay with it.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he better. That's why I hired him.
That's
I want
right.
a ring.
Right. You want a ring? Does the president get a ring too? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's ready. And you have a tournament coming up at the end of the month to support all this. a golf tournament?
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, the Booster Club has been doing an incredible job. I know Matt Hanrahan has come on before, Matty and all of that. They have done a great job. So we just had last month we had a golf tournament in Lake Havasu. Just recently, a couple weeks ago, we headed up at Laughlin Ranch for the Bullhead one. And then we have one, May 31st is at Calcutta, and June 1st is the tournament up in Kingman at Surbat. And Gary Reynolds is helping us, as always, helping us get that going. And so that's another tournament. Plus, then we'll be working with the chili cook-off down in Lake Havasu with Tina and that crew. And so, and then looking at what are some other new additional fundraising activities the Booster Club can do, because all that money that they're raising is coming back for this program.
Right. Because your program isn't really coming out of your normal educational budget. This is on top of that. It's kind of like the sheriff's canine unit doesn't come out of his budget. It's a foundation that does it. You're kind of doing the same with these tournaments.
Yeah, with the Booster Club. Yeah,
Booster
exactly.
Club.
Yeah, that's why they started. They said we want to support the startup of this, and we're going to put basically our mouth where our money is, or our money where our mouth is, right? And we're going to step up and try to help raise the funds. So it's basically a side auxiliary that we're helping fund all this with that fundraising.
Yeah, that's exciting too, that you had that kind of community support going in.
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't think very many community colleges start up new athletic programs like this, or just even startup athletics have that type of how fast they moved, how quick they started to raise money, how passionate they still are for it.
Right.
Even 2 years into doing this without even having a team to go watch yet. And to keep that enthusiasm, incredible.
And does Mehdi or Steve Moss or Matt Hammerhand have any students on your teams?
Students meaning?
Players?
Well, they don't coach or...
No, do they have any kids on your team?
No.
Yeah, see, so
No.
they're not doing
Oh,
it.
yeah, no. It's not because of that motive, no.
Right, they're not
Right.
motivated for my daughter or my son to play.
No.
They're motivated for our town, for our college.
When we were doing all the analysis for it, we even did a little mini economic impact study of what that would be for these outside teams coming in.
Oh.
You know, they're having meals, they're doing that. You got fans coming in, maybe staying a night. So we were taking a look at that economic impact study for just Bullhead, and they realized that these kids are coming in, that helps develop money. The fans coming in for the home matches, that brings in money. But they love the fact that we have 15 local kids.
Right, that's fantastic, and that's only going to get better, because I think once they start finding out that their friend that graduated last year is playing at MCC soccer, or their sister or their next door neighbor, they're going to up their game. They're going to join a travel team and start playing more than just, locally with Jeff Tipton and the kids are, at the soccer field or the high school. They're going to want to play better and more, and they want to go to MCC and play too.
Yeah, and I think what's going to be added to that also is, hopefully with the community support, those games are going to be more than just the game. So what activities are going to be tied up to those games, which is going to make the environment even better. So a kid growing up, 11, 12, 13 years old, they're going to see that and they're going to say, you know what, in 5, 6, 7 years, I want to play there.
Exactly.
And then they're going to be asking the question, how can I get there? What do I need to do?
Right.
And that's going to improve that level of the youth system here in town and in the county as a whole. And then those kids are going to be the ones that we're going to be coaching, hopefully, in 7 years.
So you're thinking you want a party at the whole rest of the soccer fields to all be an event while you're starting to play your first game?
Absolutely. And if that happens, I won't coach the team. I'll just go to the party. Just to kind of take that stress out of it.
Anyone seen a coach lately?
But yeah, I mean, that's what we want. We obviously need to start some new traditions, some new things that we can do that are going to motivate these players before each game. That we want, the youth, but also their parents and their grandparents and everybody just to be a fan. What I always say is the parents of the kids that are going to be playing for us, they're not fans. They're the parents.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going after the rest of the community that has no ties to the team other than is the team representing us.
Well, and I think you're offering something new for the community, to say, for years they've driven past the soccer fields on Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday and seen thousands of kids out there playing. But now they can go see a tournament. Now they can go see a higher level, have to pay to get in to sit in a stand and watch a soccer team play. That's something new for our town.
Mm-hmm. Our whole goal is not to have they have to pay to come in and see good soccer.
No, they got to support the team.
Right. Come on in and
$50
enjoy
to watch the game.
Yeah, right.
$10 hot dogs.
Yeah, $10, $20 hot dogs. Zero to come in, but $20 hot dogs.
Oh, okay. All right.
We won't be doing that. Our whole goal is to try to get a lot of people in the stands to make it a really fun, free environment to come in. There'll be opportunity concessions, all that type of stuff, right? And if people really do love it and they say, you know what, I don't have a kid here, but this is great soccer, and I want to support the program, they can join the booster club. They can maybe they own a business and they want to do a sponsorship leveling with the signage up at the field. They will find that opportunity to continue to support in one way.
And this field has kind of transitioned from the Firebird field into the new MCC soccer field, right? I mean, they're putting a block wall around it. They've made dugouts for your teams. Holy cow.
It's a city field we are doing a facilities use agreement with.
Okay.
But they have made enough improvements to make it.
How much are you charging Toby to use his field?
how much is Toby charging? Yeah.
No, I mean, you said you bring in a lot of economic dollars to this, I think Mr. Cotter step up to the plate here and say, well,
I'll send him an invoice for $200,000 and we'll see what he says, right?
Yeah.
No, we won't do that. But the field has really done some great improvements thanks to people like Medi and the Booster Club and helping out, and the city themselves.
I went by and looked at it because Matt Hammerhand did my show a month or so ago, and he was telling me about it. Well, the next night I had something to do in that area of town, so I went by there and looked at the field, and the fence was up, and there was more block wall to be built and everything. Wow, this is exciting. You guys just have to be. I mean, when you showed up in Bullhead City and found out where they were already with the teams and what's happening, you had to show up kind of excited to take this job.
Well, and I've seen so much growth since then, because when I first got here, the apartments that were being built, Mohave Village was still very much under construction. There was no brick walls
around. It's not
Mohave
Village; it's Soccer City.
There you go. And then there was
you're into something there.
Yeah.
You'll see. You'll see.
And,
You'll see.
I want to make sure I call this correctly. The building that they're renovating is a was it the Performance Education Center, or something? And it's there's a lot of work being done there. So it's just the investment and everything into making this work. It's very refreshing to see the level of commitment.
And you both are
from everybody involved.
Infancy of this. I mean, you guys are the guys that are starting this off to where in 20 years when you come back in your wheelchairs and watch these games, you can go, I started this, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing
There's
but
a
exciting.
good legacy started with these two. Absolutely.
It is. All right, we're wrapping up with our three guests from MCC. And Dr. Klippenstein, when you a few years ago bought a building in downtown Kingman and moved your offices in there, but you also moved some shakers and movers in there.
We did. When we looked at that building downtown Kingman on Beale Street, 309 Beale Street, everybody come down and visit. The Chamber of Commerce, we partnered with Becky Fossen from the Chamber, and when we were looking at that 10,800 square feet and how we're going to remodel it, we approached Becky and said, hey, this might be a great opportunity to provide the chamber space, so it's a combined chamber space.
Right downtown, yeah.
But it made perfect sense also to tie in our Small Business Development Council, the center there, SBDC office with Jeanette Pigeon helping, so you got that small business startup support mechanism. Right. You also have the chamber there to provide you support if you're an incoming business.
And the college wrapped around it.
And the college is right there, too, with our community ed and corporate ed program running right there out of downtown. It's been a really nice visible part, but it's been a partnership as well.
Right. Well, and these are the people that you look to from time to time on where the college should go, what new classes need to be. I had a young man in here 2 weeks ago. Mohave Electric Cooperative takes students to D.C. every year. Well, this young man went 2 years ago, and then they had a young gal who went last year. And so it was about interviewing them about the trip to D.C. But the young man is going to MCC now, taking the body and fender course. He wants to be a body and fender man. Yeah. He's excited. I mean, he's already into it for a year. He's jazzed about this class.
That's great. Yeah, going back, the chambers, I got to give a shout-out to Bo. Got to give a shout-out to Andrea down in Lake Havasu and formerly Lisa Kruger.
Right.
And then also to Becky. Those three have been instrumental in our look at what are the workforce needs. bringing in industry partners, helping us out with focus groups. They were incredible and still are. They're helping us develop the corporate ed stuff. And so our chambers, awesome.
Exactly. All right. Gentlemen, do we have a soccer page that people can look at?
So athletics.mohave.edu. That's our athletic website. There's a new one coming.
James has
soon.
you trained well.
Yeah. I've been doing it for almost 2 years.
Yeah. All right. Thank you both. Thank you both for the coaches and the president for coming in and hanging around all day till he has his
Pennings
pinning
tonight. I'm
ceremony
excited.
tonight. Yeah. All right. That's going to can it for the tuna. I'm out of here for the day. And